earlier you were saying about with kids, and not just kids, but young adults when they first come to you, and they've got a sort of non-specific background, and how it's actually more, and the athletes you named off as well, how it's potentially more beneficial to actually have that diversity younger. And I've got a couple of friends that when they get into sports, they say things like, oh, well, if I started it when I was like 10, then I'd be good at it and I could do it. But because I'm so-and-so, I can't do it now. I hear with surfing quite a lot in particular.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, again, ask Emily Campbell.
Yeah.
You know, she's our most successful weightlifter, I want to say, potentially ever. Don't quote me on that, please. But yeah, from my understanding, she came from an athletics background. I don't know how good she was at athletics, but I don't think she won anything major. I'm assuming it was probably like a throwing sport from memory. And again, she's been to Olympics. She's, I'm guessing, again, I should probably know my stats better, but world champs, European champs, stuff like that. So I would just say it's not necessarily a bad thing. And there's an argument to say, yes, people will always quote China or something like that, where there's kids are taught from a young age.
Yeah.
We also have to bear in mind, we've got an amazing luxury in the UK, and that is, if you want to take up a new sport tomorrow, you could probably find 200 sports within 20 miles. We're talking ultimate frisbee, American football, volleyball. I'm going mainstream already, but like table tennis. There is so many sports and clubs, and we are very, very lucky in this country to have that. For you guys, climbing and bouldering, I'm guessing there's opportunities here then everywhere for you guys to do. Yeah, exactly. And I think we're very, very lucky. And when people sit there and quote, oh, in China, but in China they have less opportunity. I want to say it's a chap called Nathan Stockley, who was a physiotherapist for Team China weightlifting for 3 years, leading into, I believe it was the last Olympic Games. And I sat on a British weightlifting seminar with him, and he was just saying how, you know how we have counties, they have the same type of thing. Every single school has a weightlifting club there.
Yeah.
In short, they have about 350 weightlifting clubs within a very small area, and we have maybe 350 in the whole of the UK. So you know, it's a numbers thing. So touching back on to your youth athletes earlier on, I think only coach out there will say under 16s you might need 50 of them, and by the time they become under 18s you might have 30, and by the time they're early 20s 10 of those might still be around. So I don't want to call it a numbers game, but it's definitely a case of like introducing youth athletes to that strength training is really important. But going back to your original question, I think like having a mixed background in sports is not necessarily a bad thing, because I've done some mountain biking in the past and taken part in events, and that's taught me as much as football and rugby and weightlifting. It's a chance to challenge yourself and get to know yourself a bit better. And any sport, again, Chris Murray, I don't know how serious his injury was, but had to go through a phase of clearly loved playing rugby, was no longer able to do that, had to rehab, and found another sport he loved, and he's become extremely successful in it. So one thing can lead to another, and that period of injury can also help build you physically and mentally.